welcome to my channel, Life Speaking Food. Good food for every soul and a word for every heart. It's Chef Dolores and it's fall. I got on my fall apron here, but anyways, today we are going to make a fall dessert. We're making cookies, apple pecan caramel cookies. I'm so excited about fall. It is my favorite season. So these ingredients are very simple, and you know, like I said, you have to follow the recipe. So we're going to get in the kitchen and we are going to make some apple pecan caramel cookies, and I might just top it with a little caramel afterwards. So y'all ready? Let's get in the kitchen. Let's make some cookies. Let's go. Okay, you guys, so these are the ingredients for our apple caramel pecan cookies. So we have our flour here, like a cup and a half. Half a teaspoon of salt is in here. I made an apple spice, which consists of cardamom, cinnamon, ginger in here, and a little nutmeg. You only need a teaspoon. So this is our dry ingredients. And then we have our 1 egg. We have our caramel bites here. We have a half a cup of butter, unsalted, because there's salt in there. We have our vanilla extract there, and we have our brown sugar and regular sugar in there. These are just pecans. I did not toast those, okay? And here are my cut up apples. So what we're going to do is a creaming method, which means the first thing that we're going to mix together, which would be our butter and sugar. And we want to get a nice smooth effect. So let's go ahead and get that going. So let's get it in the mixer, KitchenAid right here, and let's get started. Okay, so we have our sugar in here and our butter. So we do not have to melt the butter. The energy is going to create and break down the butter. So let's get this turned on. And we're going to let this beat for like 2 minutes. So that is what this is going to do. And we want a nice, smooth effect. So let's get it. Okay, so I want to show you guys why it's important to do this creaming method. So you see that? You need it to come together to look like one. Very important. So we're almost there. So what we are going to do, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add the vanilla extract. So let's turn it back on. Make sure that is turned on. And we will get this on and then we will go from there, you guys. We're going to add our vanilla extract next. Okay, so in goes the vanilla extract. There we go. Then we're going to add our 1 egg. Make sure you get that room temperature. And it's just 1 egg. We want to get a nice and smooth texture. So we're going to let that beat for about another minute or so. Okay, so let's stop it here for a minute. And we're going to take half of our dry ingredients and we're going to put them in there. The key also for cookies is not to overmix them. Very important. So we're going to put half. I'm going to bring that back up just to let it get incorporated. Here we go. All right, you guys, let's continue. So half of it is in there. We're going to go ahead and put our other half in there. We definitely do not want to overmix. Very important to remember that, okay? Very important. All right. We're going to let this come together. You also at this time can actually turn it off and just mix it well yourself. So you guys stand by. Okay, so we still have a little white down here. You see it? So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to mix it in. We don't want to see any white. Just like that. So now we got our dough all together. Now we got to add all these special ingredients. So we're going to do apples. Make sure those are nice and dry, that there's no liquid in this container. So that's important. And you want to make sure that your apples are small in pieces because you want everything to cook evenly. But we also want a little bite to these as well. So I cut them really small. And they're all like the same size. So now we got the apples in there. I'm gonna put our pecans in there. This is such a wonderful fall dessert. And you can do this with your kids too. They'll love this. Putting all the stuff in there together. But they gotta listen. They gotta listen. So you see how all this is coming together? So your last thing to do, those caramel chips. And you know what I am gonna do? I might just melt some down and finish them off with a little drizzle. We'll see. It all depends on how I'm flowing. And we want to make sure that we're doing a fold, just like that. No more stirring, just a fold. So you want to get like a scoop that's like 1.5 inches, and that is very important because we want these cookies all to cook at the same time. We do not want one cookie bigger than the other one. So we need a 1.5 scoop. You can purchase those at any store. It's just like a little scooper, like an ice cream scoop. You guys will see it. I'll show you what it looks like. And so what we're going to do, we're going to let this sit for a while before we even do anything. I want this to get nice and cold. And this is my scooper right here, okay? So this is the one that we're going to use. So we're going to get this in the refrigerator, let it get nice and cold for like 30 minutes. And then we're going to scoop them out onto the sheet pan and we're going to cook them for 8 to 9 minutes, 375 degrees. So stand by. Okay, you guys, so I took the cookies out of the refrigerator. The reason I let them sit for a bit is because I want them to hold together better. And the apples are a little bit on the outside here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop the temperature. Instead of cooking it at 375, we're going to cook it at 350, okay? It's always best to go lower with your temperature, especially if you're creating a recipe. So that is what I did. So in the oven, 350 for 8 to 9 minutes. You guys stay tuned. You see first, right? It makes a dozen. Now, if you make your scoop smaller, you can double that. Okay? So I like my cookies a little big. Do not press them down. Leave them whole, just like that. As they cook, they'll sink in. It'll actually keep the moisture in the cookie and make the cookie nice and soft. So now we'll go into the oven. All right, 350, 8 to 9 minutes. Keep a watch out because everyone's oven cooks differently. Let's go. Okay, you guys, so our cookies are done. So we're going to let them cool for at least 4 minutes. If you want to cool them quicker, you can put them in the refrigerator, but I'm going to let them cool. So stay tuned for plate presentation. The best lesson to be taught will be sitting in silence daily. When we feel we have to have noise when we rise and when we sleep, we're yielding to the world norms because we really don't want to deal with the revelation of ourselves and hear God speak.